Hi, I'm Tim Boyle. I'm the CEO here at Columbia Sportswear. And this message is for flat earthers.
So this is breaking right now. The Epstein files.
Influencers will be the first to take the mark of the beast.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there's having a good day. Y'all, we got a good one coming up today. Whatever happened to the Balenciaga stuff? Creepy things popping up in the desert that can only pop up in California? Along with a lot more, y'all. Before we get in the video, make sure you guys watch from start to finish. It really helps the channel grow, y'all. Really helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's do what we all came here for. Let's get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, y'all. Balenciaga. Yesterday I did a video about short-lived conspiracies. Conspiracies that seem to take over the whole internet and then all of a sudden they just disappear. And to me, Balenciaga was one of them. It actually happened 2 times with them. They had teddy bears dressed like they were going to a Berlin warehouse dungeon, and the teddy bears in this campaign were being held by kids. The internet collectively screamed, "Who approved this?" And Balenciaga acted shocked like they just discovered the photos at the same time the rest of us did. And then people were boycotting and burning shoes and cutting up bags. And then shortly after that, they dropped another campaign featuring a desk with scattered papers. And on that desk was a Supreme Court ruling. And that case happens to be the United States versus Williams 2008, which is a case dealing with CP. And you feel like you should have some kind of PR firm looking over things after the last scandal. And this was just the start of the things in these photos. People were finding all kind of things hidden inside of it. Art books that lead back to very sinister stuff. That's the nicest way I can say what was inside these art books. The high fashion world is already extremely creepy to me anyways, but you had all these major celebrities and influencers who had brand deals with this company, and all of them all at the same time came out and said, "I cannot in good conscience support this brand anymore." You know, and then those same people who said, "I stand with the children" in all caps were now clapping and sipping champagne under a 30-foot LED runway. Because stuff like this can let you know that money can buy away your morals, apparently. But this kind of stuff has had me thinking. I'm going to do a whole series about short-lived conspiracies. Because if there's one thing that I've learned is that scandals don't really end, they just wait for the next product to drop. But y'all should really dive down this rabbit hole. These folks operate in a world we're never going to step our foot into, and every time we get a peek inside, it just looks a little darker.
Myrtles now are hereby sentenced to death by fire. Any last words? Only one.
The witch's last words were Balenciaga. Now when I tell y'all that the translation for Balenciaga is do what you want, and do what you want is the satanic law, meaning do what thou wilt, am I tripping? Or are you just not coming into acceptance of the truth yet? The witch's last words were Balenciaga. Just in case you didn't hear it the first time.
Myrtles now are hereby sentenced to death by fire. Any last words? Only one.
Do what thou wilt, people. The satanic law that people who are in Satanism abide by. I mean, even for the people who don't want to believe everything that's really in your face, at some point, you got to be like, oh.
If you go to McDonald's anywhere in the world, you will find French fries, or chips as you call them, and you will find that they're always made from the same potato, the russet Burbank potato. This is a potato from America that's unusually long and difficult to grow, but that's what they want, because when you're McDonald's, you like those red boxes with a little bouquet of very long chips. It looks really good, and so they insist that all their potatoes be russet Burbanks, and they further insist that they have no blemishes at all. There's a very common defect of russet Burbank potatoes called net necrosis. And you've seen potatoes with a little brown line sometimes, or spots that come through it. Well, McDonald's won't buy them if your potatoes have that. And the only way to eliminate that is to eliminate an aphid. And the only way to do that is with a pesticide called Monitor. That is so toxic that the farmers who grow these potatoes in Idaho won't venture outside into their fields for 5 days after they spray. And then when they harvest their potatoes, they have to put them in these atmosphere-controlled sheds the size of a football stadium because they're not edible for 6 weeks. They have to off-gas all the chemicals in them. So you see, the desire for a certain kind of chip leads to a certain kind of agriculture.
I said it like a year or two ago, and I got killed on the internet for it. We do not have enough chickens. We do not have enough meat supply. We don't have it. We have, ready? They went down a rabbit hole of like doing the math behind McDonald's. McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers a day. 6.5 million burgers a day, okay? One full-sized grown cow can produce approximately 2,000 burgers, okay? Okay. To keep up with that standard, in 1 month, you need 97,500 cows. Thank you. 1 month. Yeah. We don't have that many cows. And that's only for McDonald's. And that's only for McDonald's. That's only for McDonald's. There's Wendy's. No. ISO. Break me off. ISO. No. And this is to all you on TikTok, all you on Instagram, all you on YouTube and Spotify. Get 'em. A year ago, over 2 years ago maybe, I said there is not enough chickens or cows or meat supply on this earth for as much meat and eggs and all that stuff that we use. And you're like, oh no, we have farms and all that. Your farm. Get them. Y'all are eating penguin, pigeon foot, 3D printed Campbell's chicken noodle meat and monkey knuckles. And y'all careful. Oh. And y'all all made fun of me paying so stupid. The guy from the YSK podcast is so dumb. Guess what? I'm right. Get him. You just needed some people with some farm animals to tell you. But when the guy on the podcast says it, 2 years ago, he's all crazy. Get him. And that's happened time and time again. I said it about the aliens. I said it about everything. And it always comes out a year later of me being right. So to everybody that's hating on this podcast and hating on me, I'm right and you're wrong. Get him. And I want an apology in the comment section on every platform we have. I'm tired of everybody saying that I've been wrong. I'm so thankful you said that. And honestly, you too. He should pay. No, it's your fault. No.
Talk about this earthquake that could destroy all of California. We're calling it the big one. But they're saying the cascading subjection zone, and they said it's about to go off.
Really?
But they're saying that when it goes off, it will be a 9.0 or higher.
Oh my gosh.
It's 4 minutes of continuous shaking.
Dude, that's just destroying a whole city.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In 1994, the LA earthquake that happened, that was a 6.7 magnitude, but it caused over $50 billion in damage. It destroyed LA.
Dude, a 9.0 that's thousands of deaths.
Animals would be able to pick up on it 90 seconds before it happened.
Cool.
So they're saying all along the West Coast, and we're talking about massive tsunamis because it's in the ocean. People along the West Coast, they would have about 10 to 30 minutes to reach higher elevation before this giant wall of water just came.
That's so terrifying.
So everyone on the West Coast,
we're so sorry.
They're saying the one plate, instead of it like getting bound up, it's literally folding over on itself. It'll just be like a big pow.
Oh my God.
So Max Headroom, if people don't know, was a character back in the 80s. Now, what was he? He was actually AI. He was the first AI character.
Oh, hold on.
This is where it gets spooky. He came out in around 85, and a couple years later, there was a broadcast interrupted in Chicago in 1987. So this broadcast got interrupted with this guy with this Max Headroom mask on. And it was like, it was very weird. There was no audio, but he was like doing all this weird stuff. And it was about 30 seconds. And people were like, what was that? So it cut off, right? Now, a couple hours later, on a different channel, happens again. Same guy, right? But now you can hear him. He's saying things and there's buzzing sounds. And then even it ends in him getting spanked by some woman or something. It was all this weird shit.
What?
Yeah. So here's the thing. For one, the date it happened on, November 22nd. What date is that? November 22nd is the same day that JFK died. That's weird. That's one. Here's the thing. The first broadcast that they interrupted, the time was 9:14. The second one was at 11:15. So you have 9/11. Guess what channels they were?
Not 9/11.
Channel 9 and Channel 11.
Get the fuck out of here.
They knew something.
Yeah.
And here's the cherry on top. So that's some time travel shit, right? The first broadcast that they interrupted was a show by the name of Doctor Who. And Doctor Who is what?
Fucking
has stuff to do with sci-fi, time travel, alien, all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, no. Time travel. It's gotta, it's something. It's not nothing.
Because what type of technology do you have back in the 80s to interrupt a TV station?
I bought a guitar the other week at a garage sale from this old lady down the street, and every time I pick it up or strum it or play it, really weird shit happens, and I'll show you. It's some Lotus, like very 80s looking guitar, and every time I strum, like that, shit like that happens every time I mess with this thing. Shit like that.
Money is debt. School makes you stupid. Half of what we call medicine is drugs, and half of what we call drugs is medicine. Religion makes you ignorant of true spirituality. Possession is an idea. Power is a concept, and we are all God.
I'll tell you this right now, and I know this for sure. I've met all these guys in Hollywood since I got in the movie business. Hollywood is so scared of you and all your buddies.
Seriously.
They are so scared of you and Kai and Aiden. You guys are commanding all the attention in the world. You're so much bigger than like Leonardo DiCaprio. That guy makes a post. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. Your stuff is hundreds and hundreds of millions, which is why I'm really delighted to meet
That's
you.
crazy to hear that.
I swear to God,
I mean, think about the names he said, right? Like, they had those streamer awards recently, the other day, right? And there's so much big streamers out there. Like even Candace Owens, she's getting 100,000 people watching her when she's live on YouTube. A lot of those types of people, but they weren't at the streaming awards. It's like the new Grammys. Like, we're not going to invite anybody. We're going to only invite the people that we say are going to win. Like, that's what's taken over. And now we're going to see influencers will be the first to take the mark of the beast.
Influencers will be the first to take the mark of the beast. And I believe that they are being primed to do it, to influence the masses to follow their lead and also take the mark of the beast. Think about how much power and influence these people have. And yet, like, celebrities are cool, and I also believe that they'll play a big part in this. But influencer culture and how, honestly, they've risen to the A-list celebrity of life, they are going to downplay the mark of the beast. It's going to come out and they're going to say, oh, everybody's going to take it. Everybody's taking it. They're even going to create ads for the mark of the beast. I'm going to show you a world that if you take the mark of the beast, your life will be exponentially better. They're also going to be offered millions and millions and millions of dollars to influence you to accept the mark of the beast. And you might think I'm just yapping, but I'm not. Revelation says that he will cause, now remember this word cause, all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their forehead, which is worship to him. The word cause does not associate with the word force. He's not going to force people. He's going to cause them. He's going to use pawns like celebrities to get people. Imagine if a celebrity's traveling during a time where you can't travel unless you accept something. Imagine that these influencers are traveling and they're doing a stream or they're doing some type of YouTube video or TikTok video, and they're traveling and they're telling you that you can only travel if you receive this mark, or you can only get this type of car if you receive this mark, or they're just doing little small campaigns for this mark. Influencers are pawns, and they're going to be used in the last days. They're being primed for it right now. They're being given the world right now. They're being given the minds of the youth. I know the saying where it says that if your friend jumps off a bridge, will you jump off a bridge? I truly believe that all of these influences have the power to make people jump off of bridges with them. So,
I mean, it's because influencers are so, I mean, I don't know, am I an influencer? I get so much comments from people, saying like, man, I really feel like I was just chilling with you and we were watching these together, or, things like that. Like, you never had that type of, I don't want to say intimacy, that type of like friendship, right? With the celebrity, with the movie star. You just see them at the movies when you go watch a movie and they're acting. They're not even themselves, right? Us influencers are, you guys got my email down below. You can contact me. I respond to your comments. I respond to if I get a TikTok or something. Like, I respond to you guys. Like, so it makes us more, closer than these celebrities. We got way more influence on the masses than the celebrities did. They had their run, but this is just a whole nother level where, you guys can get in contact with me. Like, you can get in contact with a lot of people, not these top dogs, right? You got to be in the circle with them, but they have the most influence, y'all, because the machine is pumping them out so much, making them win awards and doing all this.
Aware of the influencers in the last days, because they will be used as pawns. Money is the root of all evil. I'm telling y'all, money is the root of all evil.
My mom had a friend that was a curandero, and he told me one of the most interesting stories I've ever heard. He looked at me. We were sitting inside of my house when I was younger. He says, "You want to know something?" And I was like, "Yeah." He says, "The Nephilim survived the Great Flood. They survived by having their people, the people that worship them, build great pyramids, sarcophagus inside of those pyramids that could be shut, airtight, so that when the Great Flood came, they could survive in the sarcophagus. They had devices in the sarcophagus that would help them breathe, that will help them live long enough until after the Great Flood. And this is why you see all those great pyramids, the sarcophagus that are empty, that were open somehow, some way. It's because the Nephilim, the giants, they lived in the sarcophagus. They now rule over the world. But God will come back. And I was like, what? And he started explaining to me that before the Great Flood, there was a time where the Bible speaks about it, where the giants were eating humans because there was not enough food. So the giants would eat the humans. But the great giants, which were the bigger Nephilim, would task the younger Nephilim, the smaller Nephilim, with going out to go get their food. Well, the younger Nephilim were smaller. They had to adapt to feeding on scraps. Whatever the greater Nephilim would eat, they eventually adapted to drinking just blood, which is where you got the myth of the vampires, you know, and all that, drinking blood. And it made them pale. It made them have red hair. It made them, you know, the eyes lose color. It's a whole thing. He explained to me, which this gets really deep. It goes into why us darker human beings are actually from this earth. The others might be part Nephilim, which is why they came from the mountains. It's a lot of that I can't say. It's very interesting. I know most of y'all probably they're not going to watch this video. But it's an interesting topic. If you believe in the Bible, if you don't believe in this, you're just a fucking...
I mean, they're doing it now with the peasants, with the worshipers, with the people that are so distracted. Us. I mean, there is a clip, I think it was on Tucker Carlson, a CIA lady came out and said they're building these massive metropolitan cities underground that we're paying for. Because I always wonder, where's my tax dollars going? The schools are terrible. The roads are still terrible. Infrastructure's terrible. There's graffiti everywhere. Subway sucks. City transportation sucks. Everything sucks. Where's our tax dollars going? And they make it seem like they're going to fund Ukraine, going to fund, you know, whatever, but they're really going to fund these underground metropolitan cities. We're paying for that, just like this guy just said. You know, the people built the pyramids for them. Whatever we say, whoever built the pyramids, but let's just go off what he was saying. The people built all that for them. And then when they hit the fan, when the floods came, they locked everybody out, but they survived. We're doing that now. I mean, why do they got underground bases? Why we see all these truck drivers going through mountains and delivering grains and delivering food? They got fast food chains underground. They show us these things. Why? Why do they have these? Why? So they don't use up all the land out there? No, it's so when this hits the fan, they airtight shut those things, and they got all the grains, they got all the seeds, they quit giving us seeds and foods and and fruits. Like they're planners, y'all. They got 100-year planners, 1,000-year planners, 10,000-year planners that can just see ahead, and we can't even plan our week out, our day out.
Who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
Yeah, it's dropping.
Now, they're not even trying to conceal it anymore. The owners of the country they got their election. They said, we're going to get this election. We put you people in that court for a reason.
All right,
now's
back
the time
to
pay
earth
us.
for you
And
now.
yeah, forget all that stupid. Will you? They're out in the open. They're openly driving the bus, and we're all in the back.
There is no national conspiracy to buy elections and control America. Now talk about back to earth. Conspiracy, but
you don't need a formal conspiracy. Right. When interests converge, these people went to the same universities and fraternities. They're on the same boards of directors. They're in the same country clubs. They have like interests. They don't need to call a meeting. They know what's good for them. It's a they're getting it. And there used to be 7 oil companies. There are now 3. It will soon be 2. The things that matter in this country have been reduced in choice. There are 2 political parties. There are a handful of insurance companies. There are about 6 or 7 information things. But if you want a bagel, there are 23 flavors because you have the illusion. You have the illusion of choice. Right. You don't get the real importance. There's no freedom of choice.
All the time, as well as
It's a long night out there. A long night. That's what you wanted. You knock on that door, they'll come answer it for you. It's gonna be the longest night of your life. Be scared now. That's what you wanted.
okay, that was weird. What are the odds something just walks next to us? Oh my god.
Just a friendly reminder, the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, said this: "The world elite are not humans, but cold-blooded hybrids." I'll let you interpret that however you like. As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
So this is breaking right now. The Epstein files have been blocked once again. 3 federal judges just blocked the DOJ from releasing the Epstein grand jury files. And guess who these 3 people were? The first one was Richard Berman, a Clinton appointee. The second one, Paul Engelmeyer, an Obama appointee. And the third, Robin Rosenberg, yet again, another Obama appointee. But the one judge who approved to release the files, you ask? His name is Rodney Smith, and he's a Trump appointee. Do you not see the pattern here? When are you Democrats going to open your eyes and realize this has nothing to do with Trump? Your party does not want to release these files for a reason, and you guys have been real quiet about it. Wake up.
I mean, when is she gonna wake up and realize they're not our friends? We're not on the same side of them. We're not. Guess what? If they release all those files and it comes out that it was all the Democrats, guess what? The people that support the Democrats are still going to vote for Democrats. It's not going to make them come over to the Republican side or Trump side. It might make a couple thousand, but the majority ain't. The majority ain't even caring what's on those Epstein files. The majority of people ain't. They're not. We are because we document it over here, but the majority of people that are just going to work, come home, watch Netflix, wake up, go do it again, they don't. Epstein's not on their list of priorities. I don't know. I'm tired of these politics. I'm tired of the division when they're not our friends. When it hits the fan and those floods seal and the floods hit and they go to their underground bunkers, Trump's going to be bunking up right next to Obama, just like he was at that funeral, chit-chatting and laughing and joking with them. Right? You remember that?
Tommy, let me explain. I know things, people. People that know me know I know things. Some people on here know I know things because you guys hit me up and I tell you things. And then you come back and say, oh my God, how did you know? I don't know. I don't know everything, but I know some things. And for years, I used to ignore it. Now in 2025, I just fucking embrace it and I go on with my life. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm taking a little pre-Christmas vacation. A little fun in the sun. I wasn't sure if I was going to go to like England or France or an island. And guess the fuck what? Going to an island. So I went to go book my vacation 2 days ago. And as I was going to check out, I saw this big ass wave not hit the hotel, okay? But I saw it like cascading up the hotel. And I said, oh, not the fuck not. Nope. Now I am so confident that a tsunami is going to come that I'm fucking not going. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will probably be the biggest one that we have ever heard of. It could happen this month. It can happen before February. But trust and believe a tsunami is coming. That's all I want to say. Have a good day.
What's the most demonic thing you've seen in Hollywood?
What's the most demonic thing I've ever seen? Now, this won't be demonic as far as how you may imagine what demonic would look like, but I'll tell you this. It's a story, but it's also like it's more of the lack of humanity and the disconnection of a morality and a spiritual existence and how it's broken down. That to me is demonic, and I'll give you an explanation. And listen, people become adults and whatever. Entertainers or anyone that wants to make it big, they're all susceptible to offers or become bigger, and it until you understand the power of that lust to be better, that greed, that ego to be much bigger than anyone else, you will never understand how easy that it's almost like a possession. I'll say that. That's what I think we're missing on the evil boat. People waiting for this, and they're waiting for a tail, or they're waving like, oh my God, he's beating that woman to death. There's deeper layers of evil that we must understand. And for me, this was demonic. I saw I'm on SNL, and I saw a famous comedian come on, and I mean, he came on, and before he even came on, everyone, when I say regular people, like the camera guy, the guys that fix the lights, the guys that are just putting the construction and building the sets and the hair and makeup, everyone, I would talk with everyone, and they all said, Brewer, when you meet Farley, he's the greatest. You're gonna love Farley.
Kids tell me some of the wildest stuff, and they were telling me the truth.
If you look, there's liquid dripping off the end. So
Like, why is it alive? It's alive. It's pumping.
In the background's really cool.
And just like that, the mysterious fog is back. Now, it's been reported that a 400-mile-long radiation fog blankets 13 million Americans in California. And if you guys remember, the same time last year where we had this mysterious fog covering over 30 states where there's reports of residue, weird smells, well, this time there's even more dots connect. Now, they're calling it radiation fog due to when the ground cools off quickly after sunset, radiating all the heat back into the air after the fall and winter. Here's why they're calling it dangerous. They're saying the toxic particles from factories and car exhaust get trapped in the fog, which causes various respiratory problems. Basically, they're saying this fog doesn't move, it just stays on top, like spraying aerosol in a bowl and putting a top on it. But are we buying any of this? Because for one, that doesn't sound right. Two, here's a U.S. patent for a process and apparatus for the production of intense artificial clouds, fogs, and mist. And here's what that apparatus looks like for good measure. Coincidence? Let's keep going. Now, speaking of weather and radiation, just last week, they grounded over 6,000 Airbuses due to solar radiation impacting their flight systems. There's even reports of a JetBlue flight that lost altitude, injuring over a dozen people because of this. Not to mention, Julian Assange actually warned us about this back in 2018.
Intelligent evil dust scattered everywhere, like confetti in everything.
Now, on one hand, they could be manipulating the weather to the point of no return where our atmosphere is completely cooked, resulting in things like this. There's a nationwide Arctic blast set to hit possibly new record lows across 15 states. Or it could be one big psyop that we're falling for again because the Illuminati card game that predicted everything in the last 30 years strikes again. I mean, you have the International Weather Organization card, you have the weather satellite card that reads, real weather satellites don't just report the weather, they change it. You can't make this up. Make sure you guys hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, but what do you guys think is going on? Let me know below.
The moon is a spaceship. It was built on Jupiter about 38 million years ago. Now, it doesn't have its own propulsion. It has to be towed. Our moon was towed into its orbit now about 15,000 years ago, just after the Ice Age. And when man first became aware of the skies, there was no moon, and then there was 2 moons, and then there was 1 moon. And we think that the 2 moons was the vehicle that towed our moon into space. Howard Menger wrote a book called From Outer Space to You. And when I read the book, I thought it was really great. Found out that not only he was invited up there, but there was a number of other people, scientists. They take them all around the moon. There's a train that travels to what he calls a copper highway. And he doesn't know how it goes, but it's very silent and goes very fast. Very nice people, very advanced. And they've taken thousands of people over the years. People don't say that, won't tell their story because they know that they won't be believed. Our solar system, we're told by NASA there's 9 planets. There's actually 40. There's the Earth plus 39. And each of those planets has a civilization, and each of those planets has moons that have civilizations.
Okay, this little boy just predicted what happened in Japan about 23 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago probably now. This was a screen recording that I took on Saturday because I wanted to document it because I was like, wow, this little boy is making predictions.
What were you just telling me though?
Oh yeah. There's gonna be a tsunami and flood, but they call it the flood 2.0. And there's gonna be a wave and there's gonna be a tsunami and a flood.
That was Saturday. This is what happened today in Japan.
Some breaking news happening in Japan. Parts of that island are now under a tsunami warning after a massive 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck off Japan's eastern coast this morning. Local media say there are nuclear power plants in the region and they are running safety checks ahead of a possible 10-foot wave. Again, this just coming in. Will bring you more developments as we get them.
I don't know if you remember, but Fukushima was a big flood that wiped out some of the nuclear facilities too. So, wow, this is pretty crazy.
As I started...
What do these parents got this kid watching? I didn't even know what a tsunami was when I was 5 years old. Dude's still in a car seat talking about there's going to be a tsunami and a flood. And I used to watch Johnny Tsunami back in the day. I still didn't know what a tsunami was. Right? Shouts out to Johnny Tsunami, y'all. Old school. If you know, you know.
Back into the 1800s, I then came to the dental industry using copper products. One device which was really interesting was a copper tongue scraper. And I actually read that they started to use copper tongue scrapers as soon as they realized copper was antibacterial. And so people were then using it in their mouth and no bacteria would survive in their mouth. And so people were then finding that their dental health was improving and they no longer needed to fund the dental industry. But what they also found out was that when they glided copper in their mouth, they would absorb copper ions which were electrically charged. And this was the same time that we figured we were electrical beings. And so they then realized that when they put copper in their mouth, it was increasing their conductivity and therefore their frequency. And we know the higher frequency somebody is, the healthier they are. And this was at the same time that everybody was drinking from copper because they knew it could purify the water through its antibacterial properties. So the dental industry then figured that copper would be very beneficial for people's dental health. But because people's dental health were improving, it nearly put the dental industry out of business. And that's why all of the dental products today are either plastic or stainless steel for this reason, because they figured that copper was benefiting people, which they didn't like.
See what I say when I say we're not in the club? They're not our friends. I don't care who's the so-called president of the United States. They're not our friends. Do you think little Baron Trump has a copper tongue brusher? Do you think he does? I mean, he's got gold toilets and gold everything else, a gold palace. Do you think he's got a copper tongue brusher? Probably. We don't. Mine's plastic in the room. I brush my tongue every day. It's plastic. They're not our friends, y'all.
9/11 happened. There was someone present.
I better
watching
quit
it,
hating on
witnessed
Trump
it,
because I'm gonna lose some
unfortunately. How
followers.
traumatic that would have been. And his
Y'all
name
love
was
that boy.
Gerard Way. You know who that is?
No.
So it was a guy who was trying to deal with this, going to his therapist, and started creating music and came up with a band called My Chemical Romance.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
And then there's a girl named Stephanie Meyer.
No! Where are we going with this?
Wait for it. Who had listened to My Chemical Romance and was inspired by their music and started writing books that went on to become the Twilight series. Not even finished. Then there's somebody who read the Twilight series and started creating a fan fiction of it. His name was E.L. Wright, I believe.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah, and he went on to create a fan fiction for the Twilight series that somehow transformed into 50 Shades of Grey. So just as if
that's a double,
just as if like the 9/11
triple
wasn't
tragedy.
Yeah. Just as if it wasn't bad enough already.
I'm not mad at people making money. I'm not mad at, people striving to do more with money. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that don't lose your soul within that flow of money. Like, don't lose your soul chasing that bag, because I've seen it happen. I've seen people get bought. Like, people buy people's voices, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we are in the age of no more secrets. There is only truth here. You know what I mean? So even when you see me on here, like, this is for a brief moment in time in the Matrix, but in actuality, like, me and you both know there's a different spiritual connection that's not going to be for everybody, but it's only going to be for a few people.
Fun fact about the Las Vegas shooting. Did you know that in June of this year, the full unredacted body cam footage of Officer Levi Hancock was released, with the first officer to breach the room that Paddock was staying in. Something interesting about it, in addition to showing no broken window in the room that held the primary shooting position, it also showed only like 50 or so shell casings on the ground. Also, the smoke detector, fire alarm thing, wasn't going off until they breached the door into the room. And I don't know if any of you have ever shot 1,049 rounds of 5.56 inside of a hotel room before, but that would set off the smoke detector, I think.
That's true. It's crazy, huh? Imagine those are real people.
So you know that something weird is happening to a large
Right in
portion
our
of these
face.
celebrities. Well, Simon Cowell comes out and says that he has the secret to anti-aging. He said he's aging backwards and it has to do with his blood. His blood. So he's saying that he basically has his blood filtered. They take it out, they filter it, and they put it back in, and they say that that's why he is going backwards in age. Important to note, though, there's people who've never aged well before this whole thing came about. And we have some people what appear to have been here for centuries, literal centuries. So listen to me closely. Is this really about his blood? You know, the Bible says that the life force of the person is their blood. And that's actually specifically why God says not to, ingest animal blood. So there is something with blood, but
Like, how do you walk back? Like, say it's Thanksgiving, you're going to go see your aunts, your uncles, your cousins. How do you walk back in your family's home looking like that? How do you I wouldn't be able to, y'all. I'd be too, like, you can't think you look good. You can't think, look at them. You can't think like, damn, I look young. I look good. You can't, like, how do you walk back in your family's, your old school family's home? I mean, they probably don't, y'all. You never see them with a family, but I'm just saying, like, look at them. Look at Henry and look at him.
I just can't put my finger on it. Completely unrelated. He looks like a vampire, y'all. Look at his face. Tell me I'm wrong. He looks like a vampire. Unrelated.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Somebody's dead! Somebody's dead!
Yeah, no thanks. I like the hike, but no thanks.
Shit.
Have you guys ever seen that half dome?
So that's another thing. It's like
Heck
a lot
no.
of these people that are steeped in the occult and witchcraft and things like that, and demonic and satanic rituals, also have a lot to do with spies and spy agencies, different governments, intelligence agencies.
If you look up the deaths of most billionaires or people as important, they died in a plane crash. Look at Evgeny Prigozhin. Prigozhin was the leader of the Wagner Group, the largest militia in the world powered by Russia. When he died, his plane went down randomly. Look at Kobe's death. As soon as he had the lawsuit with the energy company, his helicopter goes down. Look at all the crypto billionaires who died last year, all plane crash.
Yeah, there was a Nigerian from Lagos that died going to the Super Bowl, I believe, and he was about to make a major purchase in Nigeria, that could have made him a quick billionaire. He was already...
Because I'm sick and tired of a bitch who was willing to sacrifice her own family and everybody thinking she great. Like, now that I'm starting to see, because I never really paid too much attention because I knew that she was selected to try to replace me in some way.
Well, I know the Leviathan exists. So where would Leviathan be? Okay. Based off of satellite imagery, the imagery we have that we can trust, based off of accounts of people saying they've heard some pretty crazy stuff out in the ocean, they're saying, coincidentally, which I find is strange, it's around South America somewhere. That's where it wraps all the way up and around. Now, notice with Trump, we're gearing up to go to war with South America in a sense, with Venezuela. And it's going to turn into, if we go to war with Venezuela, it's going to turn into a war, a big war with South America in general, because they're going to ally up, it's not going to be good. But I find it interesting that that's where, notably, a lot of people agree that's where Leviathan is. Now, with all of these earthquakes and stuff that's happening, they're saying it's because the Leviathan has been moving. Okay, so they're saying that's how massive the Leviathan is when it moves, it's causing the earth to shake. It's causing all of these earthquakes. Now, I'll bet you, if you go look in those areas, or if you look where the most seismic activity is happening, it's a good way to trace where is the sea creature actually at.
It's currently 4 in the morning. I'm going to tell you guys a scary story about this house right here. This house right here. The house that has a light on. It's on the east side of Las Vegas. One day, I'm outside. I'm washing my car, right? And the guy that used to live there, he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, bro, can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "How long have you been here?" "How long have you been living here?" I'm like, "Oh, I just moved in." He's like, "Do you know the people that used to live here at his house?" And I'm like, "No, I know. I just moved here." He's like, "Well, I just fucking moved in, bro, and I'm extremely pissed because I spent all my money on this house, and my kids are starting to see stuff. And we recently found some like brujeria in the backyard, and my kids can't sleep here, and I'm starting to see shit. There's like black figures in the house." And I'm like, "You're fucking lying, bro. Stop playing with me right now. You're lying." He's like, "No, bro, I'm serious. Like, I'm down bad, bro. Like, I spent so much money on the down payment to get this house. And now that I'm in here, I'm seeing all this shit." And I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you, bro. Like, I just moved in too. Hopefully my house ain't fucking haunted.
You're freaking me out.
Moved in too. It's like, all right, bro. Well, I mean, it was nice. He was like, oh, it's nice to meet you, man. But I'm gonna move out pretty soon because this is scary shit. And I'm like, well, good luck to you, bro. Poor guy. And it just sits abandoned, man. Nobody lives there. The light's always on, and that house, to be honest, is just freaky as fuck to me. Freaky as fuck to me. If anybody is like interested in that and wants to do some ghost hunting, there's definitely some shit in that fucking house, bro.
Your education is compromised. Pergamon Press is responsible for many of the standardized textbooks you grew up reading through grade school. McGraw-Hill is owned or parented by Pergamon Press. Everyone was digesting information from McGraw-Hill books. Imagine how much of your information is compromised. When I say compromised, I'm saying think about Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, okay? He was the one who got to give the thumbs up to the information you were reading going through grade school. It was him. Because publishing companies have complete control over what information they allow in or out of their books, right? And you only have so much time. So all the information you learned through those needed to get his approval. That's crazy.
Sorry, what? The head of Harvard's hospital's morgue pleads guilty to selling human body parts. Cedric Lodge, 57, admitted to selling human remains from 2018 to 2020, making tens of thousands of dollars selling organs and body parts across multiple states. People would donate cadavers for the science units at Harvard for research and also medical students to practice surgeries on. And after they were done doing that, Lodge would then take those bodies, dissect them, and sell off the different parts on the black market. He did this with his wife, Denise, who also pleaded guilty, and Lodge is facing up to 10 years in prison. They were selling hands, dissected heads, all sorts of body parts, including faces. I think people need to look more into that because we've seen a whole lot of different faces lately. Harvard said that this was a huge betrayal, but you have to wonder how nobody noticed that this was happening. As always, let me know what you think about all of this down below. The breakup between Elon Musk and President Trump is...
I live in New York City, and you know what I'll never forgive New York City for? We just completely brushed past the fact that there were literally Jewish people, right? With the yarmulkes and all that shit, and fucking long twisty hair and all that, and the nice washing sets, living underground, like in the fucking sewers. And it was all over the news. Motherfuckers caught them fucking looking through the little shit like Pennywise. Caught them coming outside, going inside. Like, there's video footage. This is new. Like, this really happened. And we just brushed past it like nothing happened.
So does this dog look a little strange to you? So boom, I'm visiting my aunt and uncle in Atlanta, and they have these two dogs, Bruno and Kane. Bruno, the one with the curly hair, he just looks kind of off to me. What do you all think? Because he don't look normal, and he don't act normal, and he keeps side-eyeing me because he knows I'm recording him. And it's really creepy because he's really smart. What do y'all think about this behavior? Like, look at his face. Like, take a good look. Am I tripping? Or is this
Bruno
weird?
alone. He's a good dog.
Because I don't know.
Quit busting his balls.
I don't think I'm tripping, but I might be. Because I've been seeing some videos on TikTok of people's animals looking a little different or acting a little weird. And I think this dog ain't right. I think, I don't know, it looks a little too weird.
Can anyone explain this to me? Why is 50 million ingredients cheaper than like 3 ingredients? You just took 7 million things from 7 different places and combined them all, and that's cheaper?
Y'all, what in the hell is this? I said hell because it looked like something from hell. Look closely, y'all. It looked like bodies on it, right? This joint looked like something straight out of Stranger Things. And this is in California, y'all. California, in the desert. This looked like the gateway to hell. I think they say this is in Joshua Tree in California. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is a place I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be nowhere near this joint right here. I rebuke And people that's around that area said they don't know when or how that got there. So my question is, do anybody know when and how that got there? And if an artist took his time to make this and build it over here and install it, you're weird.
But Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. And until we deal with that, until we deal with the fact that a devout Muslim who doesn't eat bacon was accused of being a crackhead, until we establish the fact that they said that he went to Africa to smoke cocaine when we know they don't have running water and food over there, when they don't have paved roads over there. You saying he flew past Chicago and Miami and LA and New York and Detroit. You saying he went past Cleveland and Fort Pierce, Florida, and he went past Okeechobee and Oakland. You saying he went to another country where they're not eating?
Right.
You talking about somebody who has a wife and children, 5 children, and lives on a farm, doesn't live here in Hollywood. You saying you convinced people that person was an insane crackhead, and he hasn't been on movies and TV for 8 years? Is that correct? Okay, then don't tell me about what you want to tell me about. I just watched you decapitate the king in front of me, and then act like he's supposed to catch up and be a regular comedian like everybody else. But no.
He didn't go for that.
That's not how it went. He was out there with us for 20 years. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood, and everybody passed on him and said his show wasn't worth it.
What do you think of
Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are going to say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. And my nigga got on a flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so. And 8 years later, he hasn't been in a movie and or television. Is just now trying to do his real comeback at Radio City Music Hall. It bees like that sometimes. So now you can be the fake king or you can be the real king, but heavy is the...
Why are they...
That's crazy, huh? I thought that back, I don't know when that happened, early 2000s. Like what our social media said, right? All of us 90s and prior babies, our social media wasn't here. Our social media was MTV News, was, the news, the television. That was our social media. We didn't have social media. So the newspapers, magazines, things like that, said he went over there to smoke weed and do drugs to Africa. That's what they told us, and that's what the masses believed. Crazy, right?
Seatbelts on school buses and city buses, but seatbelts is so important. But then if you get on a plane, it's seatbelts on those. And let's be real, if this fucking thing hit the ocean or crashes to a mountain, the seatbelt ain't stopping shit. Like, you're gonna die anyway. But then it's safer to fly than to drive. But there's not a seatbelt on a school bus or a city bus except for the driver. Like, you see where I'm going with this? Like, school buses and city buses hold like at least 30 people. Planes hold more, but why is not no seatbelts at all? I understand why the driver got one because he in front of a big ass glass, but like, it's no seatbelts for nobody else, right?
So Netflix is about to acquire Warner Brothers for almost $83 billion, and this deal is bigger than what you think it is. Now, this deal includes $72 billion in cash, but Warner Brothers is only worth $60 billion, so why would they pay more than what they're worth? Well, I think I know why. It's all about AI. On one hand, yeah, you could say it's about over 100 years about content, IP, bragging rights, but it's much deeper than that. Now, not only Netflix already has a partnership with OpenAI, but other universities and tech firms for AI research and development that target computer vision, natural language processing, script analysis, casting, and visual effects, just to name a few. Which means all that new intellectual property that they have now, they can feed to their AI to learn, to create, to the likes of Superman, Batman, The Sopranos, Bugs Bunny, Harry Potter, and that's just scratching the surface. And make no mistake about it, this is a bigger push to the content creator economy, which they're targeting as well by bringing exclusive podcasts to the platform, in which the podcast industry right now is worth $38 billion and growing. Even Disney is getting in on the action. They said recently, soon the company will allow Disney Plus subscribers to create user-generated content and to consume user-generated content, aka content creators. And just to give you guys more context, the entire creator economy is worth $250 billion, and that's set to double in the next 12 months. And a bigger question is, where does this leave everybody? Being that if you're not a content creator, you're either losing your job to AI or making money with AI. And this is kind of a telltale sign, being that the US government let go over 300,000 people, UPS 48,000 people, Amazon 30,000 people, Intel 24,000 people, and the list just keeps going. All in all, this is about market share and consolidation, going from the old to the new when it comes to movies, media, music, news. Everything we come to know is changing before our very eyes. So the word of the day is reskill. Make sure you guys get in my Telegram where I teach you guys how to reskill. I have a lot of programs on that. Also my YouTube, Maverick Approach. But let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Since 1885, the Rothschilds were trying to start a world war because the Zionist International Congress at Basel, Switzerland, has called for 3 world wars.
This man disappeared after exposing the darkest truth about Rothschild's family. Let's see what he revealed.
At the end of the Third World War, they would control the entire world. 1 billion Christians are fighting a war to the death against 1 billion Muslims, which will leave Israel in charge of the world, which was predicted at the 6th International Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland in 1896. So after the Zionist Congress in 1896, you had World War I, World War II, and now we have World War III. At the end of World War I, the Rothschilds organized a number of groups called, one was the Royal Institute of International Affairs in London. It's called Chatham House, and that is the think tank of all of Europe today. And although its headquarters in London, the real headquarters are in Brussels, which is the headquarters of the Lambert family, which is part of the Rothschild family. And Brussels has been running the world.
What do you think? Is this real or scripted? Let me know in comment section.
Always leave 1 hour before the devil arrives. If you want a spot and you get that feeling like, maybe I should go, that's when the timer starts. Every minute leading up to the hour after that, that's when shit about to go down. Get the fuck on.
Hi, I'm Tim Boyle. I'm the CEO here at Columbia Sportswear. And this message is for flat earthers. You guys claim there's an end to the earth? Well, just go snap a picture. Send it to us, and you get the assets of the company. All of it. Best of luck.
I don't know. I feel like if I drive through this right now,
does it crazy.
The cars there, I might end up in another dimension. It's an option. And I'm not crossing it off the list. Should I drive through there?
What's that? Oh, after doing some investigation, they're finding out that Kanika Jenkins, the one that was in the freezer that died not long ago, isn't actually Kanika Jenkins. Tell me more! Yeah, the story gets crazy because basically what's going on is Kanika Jenkins is supposedly the girl that died in this freezer, right? But it's not Kanika Jenkins. There was actually a 48-year-old woman named Antonia Evans, and she was the one that actually was the one that perished in the freezer then. But why the secrecy? Well, because they wanted to harvest Kanika Jenkins' organs. But the crazy thing is, it sounds like it was the mother who set the whole thing up, and she was going to get a big payday for these organs. Not only that, she anticipated getting some sort of a movie deal or something along those lines as well. But they're using Antonia Evans' body as the one that was in the casket that she was buried. But now the body is going to be exhumed up from the casket and find out if it's actually Kanika Jenkins. But they believe it's not going to be. They think it's going to be Antonia Evans because they have been putting this together and piecing this together now. So this whole case is about to get blown wide open. Oh, goody.
ChatGPT tried to tell me stuff that isn't true. I'm working on this one project where I'm looking to freeze water using a vacuum. Like out in space, water's frozen. You talk to ChatGPT and you tell it what happens when you put water in a vacuum, and it tells you it evaporates. It's like, well, then what's the ice doing out in space? You're wrong. So I feed it the equation. I'm like, here's the equation for, vacuum pressure versus temperature. And it goes, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. And we have a couple of conversations. Then all of a sudden it forgets again. It goes back to where it was. And I'm like, I just gave you the equation. How are you not knowing this? It's almost like purposely trained to sort of misguide scientists.
Oh man, they just keep coming. That's the hood. I'm glad the door's locked.
Them crawfish got my boy hiding in the car. You better get out and catch the mud bugs, boy.
All right, family, there you have today's video. If you made it this far, now go ahead and leave that like, comment, subscribe. But if you left it earlier, I appreciate it, y'all. I appreciate the love. A lot of you guys hit that like before you even start watching the video. I appreciate you guys. Not much going on today, y'all. Probably go get a little hike in a little later. I'm hungry. I'm about to go eat, get these videos edited. Anybody interested? My second channel is about to pop up over here. I just uploaded over there about how crazy these barber shops and these barbers are charging their customers. We go on some rants over there if you guys are interested. If not, playlist is going to pop up over here for you guys if you want to go deep down the rabbit hole. But we're going to start getting active on that second channel because Mama Bear is finally home. So now I can get in a routine and get going and get really growing, y'all. So make sure you guys go check out my second channel over there. Links down below. And also, it's going to pop up right here for you guys. This is Segovia signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys over there on the next one. Later.